Oh, lads, today we're talking about this, and we're talking about this whole thing, and is it proof that the WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark? And I don't mean hate Caitlin Clark. Like, I'm gonna come, well, to be fair, I don't mean hate Caitlin Clark, hate Caitlin Clark person. I don't think any of them do. I don't think that's a thing. But just hate the entire idea. So, we're talking about all-star voting here, where the players voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best player at her position in the WNBA.
Does this finally confirm the wild theory that WNBA players are holding secret candlelit strategy sessions just to scheme against Caitlin Clark? Or is she simply too skilled, too quick, and too unfazed for the rest of the league to comfortably contain? Get ready, we're talking flying elbows, icy side eyes, and post-game quotes that feel straight out of a Mean Girls style script. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's drama with a scoreboard. Let's break down the so-called Caitlin conspiracy and separate the smoke from the fire.
The starters have been revealed today. You got Aaliyah Boston, shout out to AB, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Aneka Ogwumike, Satu Sabali, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson will be your 10 starters that Clark and Nafisa Collier get to choose from. And what everybody is talking about are the player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot.
Oh, obviously, according to the internet jury, it's no longer even a question. At this point, people talk about it like it's a league-wide pastime. Every time Caitlin Clark touches the ball, some fans swear opposing players look like they just found out their favorite childhood show got canceled mid-season. The body language becomes the evidence. Tight expressions, side glances, and those hard fouls that suddenly feel less accidental and more strategically enthusiastic. Elbows flying with what critics joke are GPS coordinates locked in. But here's the twist. When a player changes the pace, stretches defenses to the logo, and forces entire game plans to revolve around her, frustration is inevitable. Tension feels like hostility. Physical defense feels personal. And intensity gets replayed in slow motion until it looks like a conspiracy documentary. Is it dislike? Competitive fire? Rookie hazing at a higher speed? Or just what happens when a high-profile star enters a league full of elite professionals who refuse to roll out a red carpet? One thing's certain, whether it's admiration, irritation, or pure strategy, nobody's indifferent. And in sports, indifference is the only real insult.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA All-Star voting. We now know who the 10 starters are going to be. And we also got a peel back the curtain reveal on what the other players in the league think of Caitlin Clark. This All-Star voting told us something, and it confirms exactly what we think. The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling. I've seen some people trying to claim she shouldn't be in the game. She's tied for the league lead in assists, for crying out loud.
And let's be real, some veterans are playing defense like they're competing on Survivor, Elbow Island. What? Because Caitlin Clark didn't just enter the league quietly. She arrived with a Nike deal, national broadcasts, sold-out arenas, and a fan base that looks more like a movement than a rookie class. That kind of spotlight shifts oxygen in the room. When a newcomer walks in with endorsement deals, cameras tracking her every move and attendance numbers spiking wherever she plays, it's bound to ruffle feathers. Not because greatness isn't respected, but because visibility and recognition don't always feel evenly distributed. To some, it looks like resentment. To others, it's just elite competitors refusing to be overshadowed. Either way, when hype meets hardened veterans, sparks are guaranteed. And in a league built on pride, nobody's volunteering to play the supporting role in someone else's breakout story.
We're looking at the percentages here. Let's compare Jackie Young to Natasha Cloud. Even with Caitlin Clark on her, like, the 56th in points per game. Caitlin Clark has more points this season than Jackie Young. Sorry, not Jackie Young, but Natasha Cloud. Caitlin Clark has more points this season than Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud, I'm not joking when I say this, has played, am I right in saying she's played 8 more games than Caitlin Clark? I think she's played 8 more games than Caitlin Clark. Like, she has less points in 8 more games. She is third in assists, in fairness. Alyssa Thomas is probably going to average above 10 assists per game.
These are athletes who've spent years building the league brick by brick, grinding through smaller crowds, limited coverage, and far fewer cameras. They've done the school visits, the community promos, the discounted ticket nights. They helped lay the foundation. So when a rookie arrives and immediately commands primetime slots, national headlines, endorsement deals, and arena sellouts, it's going to feel seismic. Not necessarily personal, but disruptive. In any league, visibility equals leverage. Attention equals opportunity. And when the spotlight suddenly narrows onto one new face, even if she's earned the hype, it can create tension. But here's the bigger truth. Growth often shows up unevenly at first. One breakout star can accelerate exposure for everyone, even if the adjustment period feels uncomfortable. What looks like offense might really be pride. What looks like resentment might just be competitors refusing to fade quietly. In elite sports, respect isn't handed out with a welcome package. It's negotiated in real time, possession by possession.
Your guys' opinion, do you feel like Caitlin Clark gets kind of targeted at some of these games, or it's just basketball?
Yeah, she get targeted just like Jordan got targeted.
It's a privilege. You're the best player.
The Jordan rules. They had the Jordan rules. When you're so good, yeah, you're gonna get targeted. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
Like come on, man. You gotta, like, when you at a disadvantage, like, I feel like, just like boxing or something. If you fighting against the best, you got to do something and junk it up.
And here's the twist. She didn't storm in demanding a throne. She didn't declare herself the savior of the league. She just started pulling up from the logo, stretching defenses into panic mode, and packing arenas wherever she played. The reaction, let's call it, enthusiastically physical. Hard hedges, extra bumps, whistles that seem to disappear at convenient moments. Defensive schemes that look less like standard coverage and more like a coordinated welcome to the league tour. When a rookie bends scouting reports around her gravity, every opponent circles the matchup in red ink. That's not conspiracy, that's competitive instinct. Now about the All-Star drama. Fan voting in the WNBA isn't the whole equation. It's a blend. Fans, players, and media all factor in. So yes, a massive fan wave can push someone to the top of one category. But player voting tends to reward tenure, peer respect, and resume. That's not necessarily anti-rookie bias. It's how locker rooms often operate. Veterans typically vote for veterans. It happens in every league. When Fever fans mobilized, it felt like a campaign. And that momentum absolutely mattered. But when the final results didn't perfectly mirror the fan surge, it created the perception of resistance. Here's the bigger picture. Rapid stardom disrupts ecosystems. Media attention compresses timelines. A rookie becoming the face of the conversation overnight can feel thrilling to fans and destabilizing to peers at the same time. Is there tension? Probably. Is there pride involved? Definitely. Is it proof of a coordinated league-wide plot? That's where the story gets louder than the evidence. What's undeniable is this: indifference would be the real problem. Instead, every arena is louder. Every matchup feels personal. Every vote becomes a headline. And in professional sports, that kind of friction usually means one thing: the league just got more interesting.
Sophie Cunningham said nobody likes us about the Indiana Fever, and the player voting returns for the WNBA All-Star game don't exactly dispel that notion, because Caitlin Clark received the most votes overall, like captain on the team alongside Nafisa Collier. Another starter, Aaliyah Boston, was right behind them in votes, yet both Clark and AB were ranked 9th by the players in guards and front court.
And that Olympic roster decision? People didn't just see it as a basketball choice, they saw it as symbolism. From one angle, it felt like this. Here's a player driving record viewership, injecting new energy into the sport, becoming a headline magnet, and then she's not on the Olympic team. To some fans, that reads less like depth of talent and more like message sent. But here's where things get complicated. Olympic selection has historically leaned heavily on experience, international fit, defensive versatility, and existing team chemistry. USA Basketball often prioritizes veterans who've played together in FIBA systems over individual popularity or even raw offensive firepower. Fair or not, that's been the pattern for years. Now, does that make the optics easier? Not really. Because when the most talked about player in the sport isn't on the roster, people are going to assume motive. Fans don't evaluate through committee criteria. They evaluate through impact. And from that perspective, it feels jarring. As for the fan chaos, that's what happens when a franchise becomes ground zero for a cultural moment. Some fans are all in, building the mythology in real time. Others resist the spotlight shift. Rapid growth fractures audiences before it unifies them. But here's the deeper truth. Generational transitions are messy. When a new face becomes the commercial engine of a league that veterans spent years stabilizing, tension is inevitable, not necessarily because of ego, but because change redistributes influence. Media attention, endorsements, narrative control. Is every decision political? Probably not. Are perceptions amplified when a star becomes a lightning rod? Absolutely. The loudest message might not be, "We'd rather not." It might be something simpler. Elite sports institutions move slower than cultural momentum does. And when culture outruns structure, controversy fills the gap.
She's averaging 18 points a game. I mean, she's in a 3-game shooting downturn. All right? A 3-game shooting slump. And other than that, in the injuries, it's been business as usual for most games.
And yet, against all the subtle and not so subtle resistance, it still worked. What? Because Caitlin Clark doesn't just play basketball. She brings a tidal wave of attention wherever she goes. Even if half the league secretly wishes she'd paddle it all the way back to Iowa. The ironic twist? If fans hadn't voted, she'd be sitting at home during All-Star Weekend, popcorn in hand, looking genuinely confused. That's how entrenched the gatekeeping runs. Clipboards are clutched so tightly it's a wonder the leather hasn't cracked. If the league had its way, Caitlin would be tucked into a 5-second highlight reel between defensive drills and layup lines, quietly observing instead of dominating. When they say she's not WNBA ready, what they really mean is not WNBA compliant. And nothing enrages the traditionalists more than someone who refuses to play by the invisible rules. Her very presence is a walking paradox. She gives them everything they've been chasing: attention, engagement, growth, but on her own terms, not theirs. The league wanted the spotlight, yes, but not the kind that comes with trending hashtags, new voices, and fans asking tough questions. Why didn't we have this buzz before she arrived? Caitlin didn't just arrive. She redefined the room, and some people are still fumbling with the door handle.